All right, guys, we're back here for post week 12, pre week 13. No Marcus, Bin Laden Lawrence. He's hiding in a little hole somewhere in the desert, I guess. I don't know where the hell he's at. He got beat, and then he's going to get beat again this week, I guess. So he's nowhere to be found. Didn't even give us an excuse, just said he was not going to be on due to fear of Brandon. But I am here with his elder brother, Matthew Chuggin, and Greg.
Hydrate.
So, pretty solid week. We got a lot of going on here down the stretch. I guess I'm gonna let it start off with Greg with his awards and his shits.
All right. So this past week, MVP of the week was Andy with 225 points. I guess he had to prove something because I kept running my mouth. At one point I saw I was MVP, and then the next day when I was putting together the awards, I saw that he did it. So I'm like, dang it. But anyways, Andy's MVP this week. The bum of the week, a team that's just falling like a rock, is Jimmer with 122.52 points. I feel like those game time guys are trying to have the crappiest teams in the league.
Yep. Too much calling me out on my shit with the fucking trade deadline, Jimmer.
Probably focus on the roster, huh?
Yeah.
The nail biter of the week, Frederick over Mark. So they by 15.94 points, and both of them let me down. Frederick let me down because I picked him earlier in the year in games, and he doesn't win. Now he wins. When I picked Mark, who let me down because I picked Mark. Come on, guys. And then the blowout of the week, Brian over Nick by 68.64 points.
Trash can Nick.
I see you decided to take it easy on Mr. Peach and not give him the crying Jordan, but
yeah, if I'd have started Love, maybe if I'd have started Love over Dobbs, that shit the bed.
Dobbs
had a career game.
Dobbs had like 4 interceptions, I think.
Oh yeah, he was just throwing to the wrong team all night. Fortunately, I had it wrapped up by then, so I wasn't too nervous. But still, points are crucial at this point too for seeding purposes. So
yeah, which I will just bring that up now. I was looking at it. The asterisk next to your name in the standings, that means we clinched the playoffs, right?
Correct. I was going to touch on that last week say that Andy had clinched because he clinched last week, and then you and I clinched this week.
Yeah.
So I meant to bring that up last week and completely forgot about it because I noticed it. But so Andy had clinched 2 weeks ago. We clinched this. So we're in. Us three are in. It's just a matter of where we end up in the seeding. And since you talked about it, I'm going to throw into my weekly Kevin call out. It's not a bad thing. He's actually the one team left that has a chance to also get a bye if things roll right. It takes you and I, Greg, losing out and him beating us in points. But points-wise, he's only second to me. So really, as long as he keeps his points going and you and I lose out, then he'll slide into that 2 slot he can. So I don't think he will, but I just want to announce that there is a possibility.
Well, I don't think he will either for the fact nothing even against him. I played Nick the last week of this regular season.
So it should be an easy dub, yeah.
Yeah, so but at the same time, if I'm talking too much mess, it's probably going to backfire on me.
Yeah, you don't know. You got a tough one this week with Andy, so.
Yes. Yep.
So, because I'm confident in my last couple weeks too, but you just, you never know.
You don't.
You can just shit the bed completely. That's all I had for my.
That's interesting because I'm sure you guys noticed too. I think it's cool on this app that it has a countdown to the playoffs.
I know. Yeah, there's a lot of countdowns, a lot of interesting things.
Yeah, I like
the only thing I would say that I would wish it would change, and this would actually hurt me right now, but I really think it should be head-to-head matchup.
Yeah.
I can't change that. It doesn't let you have that option. It doesn't exist. Or it would be head-to-head matchup because I just feel like head-to-head should mean more than points for. That's just always been my way.
Yeah.
Doing it, but that would have me in 3rd place right now, so.
Well, I believe that's because we model it or try to model it off the NFL. But I know we model it off of what we did the very first year we ever played.
Yeah, which has always been head-to-head, yeah. But I just want to announce to clear that up that it's not an option. I'd rather it have been an option, even if it affects me negatively this year. But there's no way around it, so I guess I'll take what I can get.
Yeah.
If I get a bye week, because that'd be great. But that's all I have. Matt, do you have anything in your diary of a wimpy kid there, whatever?
Yeah, I did have a few things. My team shit the bed, and it doesn't help when you get 50 points on the bench because the Jets offense decided not to tackle anybody on that Hail Mary attempt at the end of the Black Friday game. So the Dolphins linebacker and DB on my bench just sat there taunting me the entire weekend. I think Mark and Brandon could be elimination game for who gets that last playoff spot. John and Kevin. Kevin, like you said, on an outside chance to get the bye, but he could go on a losing streak and completely miss. So still yet to be determined. I think I'm almost assuredly out. Shipwrecked and Nick continue their downward trail. John is starting to tail off. He's continuing a downward trend. Brandon, Kevin, you and Greg and Andy are all trending upward, back in the winning streak. Top four, like I said, or I should say, three of the four you already mentioned. 3 of the 4 playoff spots are locked up, and then we got 2 playoff spots pretty much up for grabs. And Freddie got vengeance on all of us. Maybe that's why Mark didn't want to face the music here.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about it. Both Lawrence brothers let me down this week.
Yeah, I let everybody down. Sorry,
You're
guys.
my minor league team, bro. You're supposed to win.
Wah, wah, wah.
It's just not when it's not your year. It's not your year, man.
I know. Yeah. Hey, I know.
Oh man, the Jake Browning era is upon us. That did
Yeah,
not look
I'm ready
good.
for it to be over and back to the Burrow era.
Yeah, but maybe if we lose, we can somehow get Brock Bowers. You know, he might be available if we were high enough drafting, but who knows?
Yeah.
It
It
just sucks to lose Pittsburgh.
It is
Marvin Harrison Jr. All the wide receivers. I want them all. All of them. I will say my quick kind of semi prediction. I think Mark and B Wall to both make it. I think John will be out of the playoffs. I think that'll round it out. I think Kevin will find a way in because I don't think he'll lose out necessarily. So I think obviously the top 3 are clinched, and then I think Kevin, B Walt, and Mark make it in no certain order. But that's my guess. I just feel that because I think M-Dot's I know he won last week, but I think he's trending down. Fred had a blip, but I don't think he's got enough left in the tank. So that's just my opinion. I mean, we all know Antoine's just garbage. He's overrated. So
You know what's funny about that too?
what's that?
The top 3 scorers this week was Andy, obviously, because he was MVP. Yours truly, me, and then Antoine, who lost.
Yeah,
The 3rd highest scorer in the league.
that happens though.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That does happen because I got a lot of points scored against myself too.
Yeah.
In the points against category, like 22, 24. So it's not the highest, but it's up there. So,
Yeah, I only have
Antoine's gotten,
6.
he's gotten 21. So, I mean, that's just luck of the draw, though, or bad luck of the draw when you play the team that goes the hell off.
Right.
But I think those all kind of even out by the end of the year because you'll end up winning some BS games too.
Yeah.
You'll find a way.
Well, that's the weird thing about fantasy in general, right? It's like you're putting guys in, and then in real football they have a bad week or something that you don't expect to happen, or they go off and you go against that person and they haven't really done anything all year. It's what makes it fun and frustrating depending on what side you're on.
Yeah, and that's why I push. That's why I push setting your lineups to the end, just because someone might need you to beat someone even if you're not in it. Like I'm.
Oh yeah.
You might need I'm semi rooting against you this week just to get a buffer in the bye week scenario.
Oh,
Though
I mean,
if you win, I could go up to the number 1 seed, but I'm just trying to get a bye week. So
well, I'm obviously rooting against you because I want to leapfrog you, right?
yeah,
It's self-preservation.
Yeah.
And I would like to get up there. And it's at the end of the day, it's competition.
yeah. So all right, what are we doing our picks next? Is that how we go? I haven't ran this point guard thing in a while.
Yeah, you moved the 2 guard.
We have in the 2 guard. Who wants to lead? Matt, you want to go first?
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. What game's first on your list there?
All right, we will go Cincinnati Bay versus Freddie W1.
All right, Brian and Frederick. I again don't think Bryce Young. He just continues to not look good. He may get a bump with them firing Frank Reich, but it could also, I think, in Carolina's standpoint, I think they're going to tail off and play even worse. I don't think that there's any like continuity there, so I give Jordan Love the edge there. I think Jahmyr Gibbs and Williams give you the edge there, Brian. I also like Jamar Chase this weekend at Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I think you were right. I think last week was a blip for Freddie. So I think this one goes back to Brian. Brian's back on the winning streak. Unlike that team you're wearing on top of your head. Sorry.
Don't make the playoffs. Don't worry. It's not over yet. It's far from over. Far from over. Greg, you want to go?
Sure. So this one, as of now at least, it's projected 50-50. I like Love over Bryce Young. It seems like Love's been playing good ball lately as well. Running backs, I like Breece Hall. I don't like the Jets offense. I like Jahmyr Gibbs. I do like the Lions offense. I think they're going to have a bounce back week this week against New Orleans. I see you. And I do like Dallas's offense in general. They've been playing good ball. I feel like it's more so the pass game, but that's without me really paying attention to the Cowboys games. But I do like Pollard still, regardless. Obviously, I like Jamar Chase. I'm concerned about him not having Burrow, but it's Chase, and he's always open, so I still think you're going to get solid numbers from Chase. But he does also have Brown from Philly, which that's a tough one, but they're playing against the 49ers, so that's a good defense. I do like St. Brown a lot. Especially for a non-Bengal wide receiver. McBride, randomly I like, a really bad team, but not that matters because this is for this league, but I have him in a couple other leagues, at least one other league, and I think he's just a solid guy for the Cardinals offense. But yeah, I'm just keep rambling. I think this is gonna be Brian. I don't trust Frederick in this one. This one could be really close. It could also be a classic Fred crapping the bed. But I think Brian's going to win this one.
Yeah,
also because I need him to lose.
So I do have myself winning. Obviously, I'm going to stay confident. But I will say I'm in kind of some bye week hell with the Vikings. I did not, till about a week or two ago, I didn't realize I had so many fucking Vikings on my team. So Addison out, Hawkinson out, Bynum on defense, and Phillips all, so 4 players on bye. So I had to make some moves on defense. Hawkinson and Addison are probably the highlighted ones. Bynum's he's number 1 DB in the league, so I kept him on my roster. I don't like to keep defense on the bench too often, but he was doing so well and going into playoffs. I didn't want to chance someone waiver claiming him, so I made a move there and cut one of my tight ends. But I do think I squeezed it out, but I am a little fearful just because of the bye week hell, late in the year bye week hell that I'm in. But I will take myself. I don't think it'll be as close as I'm worried about, but it could be.
Yeah.
And then Marcus Lawrence he selected me. He said, and I quote, Brian, I look up to you. I hope to one day be as good of a dynasty manager and owner as you are. I will continue to take notes as long as you continue to mentor me. I would appreciate it. So that was straight from Mark, So I will continue to mentor you. You can look up to me, little buddy, and one day you'll get on my level.
I see why he didn't join the podcast today, because I know he gets emotional with those.
He does, and I don't think he wants to cry during the speech, so he'd just rather have me say the words. So I figured I'd do him a solid and throw it out there for him and let him know that I will be your mentor for the next few years. Maybe you'll get there one day. Speaking of, next game is M-Law, or no, we'll save that for the end. Actually, we're going to go to Andy to Infinity and Bijan versus Greg TP8. Matt.
Oh, so I like the matchups in this one. I like Greg's running backs. Etienne, I think back on track. He did have a one bad game. Mostert, I think, is back in the saddle. He's been running pretty good. I do like Andy's wideouts this week. I think Olave got dinged up towards the end of last week's game with I think it was like concussion protocol. But then I saw him like towards the end of the game, so I think he was all right. I like Ingram as far as the edge for Andy. But I think the game will come down to the flex, and I think Greg has a three-headed running back monster with David Montgomery. Giving the edge to Greg and take Greg back to Victory Town.
All right. I'll go ahead and obviously I picked Greg. We'll start there. Shocker. I like my running backs, especially Etienne. Unfortunately, especially they're playing against my Bengals this week, and the way our defense has been playing against the run. Unfortunately, I think he's going to have some good numbers in that game. I do. Let's see. I like my quarterback better than Andy's. How I thought he was playing pretty decent earlier, but it seems like lately the Commanders have just been bad. I'm not a Najee Harris guy at all, so I don't like his running back there. I like Bijan, but he's going against the Jets defense. That could be issues for him. I like Olave. I like Olave better than Cup. I don't trust Cup, but I'm just playing the card that I have. I like David Montgomery a lot. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I need to say anything else. I'm picking myself. I don't think it's going to be like a blowout or anything. I think it's going to be a nail biter, and it may even come down to the Monday night game where, unfortunately, my fantasy running back plays against my real life favorite team. So I'm gonna go with myself.
So I'm gonna be probably the lone wolf on this one. I'm gonna go with Andy, and I think Hal's still getting overlooked. His last week, and I know it's last week, but Hal actually outscored Herbert last week by 2 points in fantasy. Rob, if Bijan can do what he did last week, if they keep feeding him, I think that'll really be that's my game changer there. Najee pretty much trash. But Andy keeps finding ways to win, and I kind of need Andy to win this week just so I can get that bye and not have to worry about it. So it's partially rooting for it, but partially Andy keeps finding ways to win. So I think he'll pull it off. He's got Cooper he stole from me off the waivers. I tried to sneak him on waivers a few weeks ago when he was on a bye, and he slid him up, scooped him up. That was one of my favorite defenders, so I think that'll be part of it too. But I'm going Andy in this one, and Mark Lawrence picked Greg, so I am the lone wolf on this one.
Even against his mentor,
which is wild, but hey, I mean,
No, that's fair because, like I said before, I'm rooting against you this week as well because I want to get a bye week.
Yeah, so that's really what we're fighting for up here in the penthouse. All you bottom feeders don't know anything about it. We're fighting for a bye week.
Yeah, we're just fighting for a bye week.
We need a week off. Don't have to worry about anything. It'd be nice.
I'm gonna have 6 bye weeks in the next 2 weeks.
You're gonna have a lot of bye weeks, yeah. Next game is Hawaii Shark Bears versus Kingdom Minded Poppy. So Nick versus Antoine.
Oh man, what
easy?
What's there to say in this game other than Nick has CJ Stroud? That's about it. I mean, really, that is the only weapon that Nick's team has. Maybe Chuba Hubbard. Minimal research here, but again, Nick's team, I don't see any hope. There's no hope for him this year. He's really gonna lock down that first position. So I am taking the Kingdom The kingdom reigns. Nick, again, your team sucks.
Yep, I'm gonna go with what I've been doing for I feel like the last month now. I didn't even look at this one beforehand. I'm going with Antoine in this one. Nick's team is the worst team in this league. His shining star is CJ Stroud, which I do like him, and it's interesting that both their quarterbacks are playing against each other. Their teams are. So we'll get those squared away in one game, which is one of the better games this week.
Yeah.
Other than that, Nick doesn't have any weapons like you hit on, Matt. And that includes Higgins right now, because I don't even know if Higgins is playing, for one. And two, just without Burrow and just the mess that I saw last week, I'm not sure what's going to happen. Nick does have TJ Watt. I didn't. And actually, Nick has weapons on defense. He has Michael Parsons as well. But Antoine, on the flip side, he has Myles Garrett, which I know is questionable, but I bet he plays. So in this one, I am going with Antoine. And this, yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be the blowout of the week, but Nick's team is so bad that I'm going with Antoine. Brian.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely put blowout of the week on this one for sure. I think that Antoine, he's just been putting up a lot of points.
Yeah.
He's just had some shit weeks where he's lost, but he's been putting up a lot of points. So I think he'll just destroy it. Nick did get a demerit last week, so hopefully he keeps a little closer eye on Forbes, because Forbes was a scratch last week on his defense, his defensive back. So hopefully he's got a lot of questionables. So I know his season's pretty much over, but still, for competition's sake, if he could go ahead and keep an eye on that, that'd be great. A little less drinky at the game time, a little more focusy on the lineup there, Nick. But yeah, I go with Antoine. I think it's gonna blow out of the week. I think Antoine will be probably like 180 or so, and Nick it'd probably be a crying Jordan, honestly, if not real close to it. So,
man, how bad would it be if he gets double digits? Not like Nick
loses by like double crying Jordan.
No, sorry. That'd be hilarious for one.
I'm actually gonna root for that.
But I was also thinking, well, Nick scored under 100 points, because this league low is like 120 points, 110 points, right? So has anyone scored? I haven't done research, but has anyone scored only double-digit points, like 99 and lower?
I don't know what Nick did last week.
Well, he got more than Jimmer.
126. He got more than I thought. Because I know he was going into late games. I don't think anybody has scored just under 100 that I remember.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So if he does that or the double crying Jordan.
Oh, I'm rooting for the double crying Jordan, dude. I'd like to see a good old 250 to 50 type thing or some shit. That'll be what I'm rooting for this week for sure. I don't know that Mark did not send that pick. He sent his picks, but he did not send that pick.
Yeah, I noticed he was short on some of his picks.
So yeah, he did not. I'm gonna assume that he picks Antoine. But
we'll pencil that in. We'll pencil in Antoine.
Yeah, we'll let him have Antoine on that because it's pretty obvious, I'd say.
Yeah, I do too.
So we can vote that one for that one, because he missed that one. He must have been scared in the hole that he's in, shaking his little fingers when he's typing, I guess. But all right, so the next game would be Team Shipwrecked 513 versus Brock Lobster here himself. Matt, I assume you're still going to pick yourself.
Yes, I am going to pick myself. We got a quarterback showdown in this week's game of the week. My Brock Lobster playing against. I don't think he's going to have Desmond Ridder in there. I think he's going to put Jalen Hurts. I mean, I would think he's going to change that, but if he does start Desmond Ridder, then that's just not good. I think he needs a linebacker. Looking through his depth chart, I didn't really see anybody available. He's got a lot of people on the injured reserve. I know he's got Kamara, Warren, or Waddle. I think those are the big three that he's got that could help him out this week. I'm kind of hindered by Kenneth Walker still being dinged up. But yes, I do think I squeak it out in the end. I think Daniil Hunter. Oh no, he's on bye. Daniil Hunter's tagged out. I'm putting in the Baker dude from Miami, and hopefully he gets another 25 points this week. I think I squeak it out. I'm back in the win column. Gonna be just on the outside looking in for the playoffs, but I win this week.
All right. Well, yeah, this one we're going from the worst team to possibly the second worst team in the league in this matchup. Although you brought it up, Matt, he has it. I'm assuming he hasn't set his lineup because he has some studs compared to what he has in the starting lineup on the bench. I also feel like he's on demerit watch this week because he does have a lot of bye week guys and IR guys. But I'm going to assume that he's going to go ahead and get his lineup set. With that though, I'm going with my boy Matt, the team I've been rooting for. I think Matt's going to pull this one off, and we're going to send the Game Time boys and picks 1 and 2. One Matt.
I will say Matt's going to win this one, but I'm also going to say if you're just on the outside looking in for the playoffs, you must have some good goddamn vision because you're going to be way down that hill in third spot. So that's not just looking at. That's not just looking in. You got better vision than me because I can't see you all the way down there on that hill. You look like a speck in the wind there, Matt.
Yeah,
But-
he had me believe in him.
No, I'll be right on the very edge. That's what I'm saying.
I beg to differ, but in this game, this specific game, you will win. Like you said, Jimmer's on demerit watch, so he can't be trusted. He's got them Game Time goggles on him and Nick, so they're too busy playing Star Wars swords or some shit together in the men's room. I don't know what the fuck they do, but they ain't setting teams or winning any games.
Battle. They're having a lightsaber battle. And
Lightsaber. Well, for Nick's like, woo, woo. But I digress. I will go with that, and then also Marcus Lawrence picked Matt as well in this one. So then the next one we got is Team TPJN John versus Pocket Aces Kevin.
All right, I give the edge. The quarterbacks, I think Kyler Murray is come on. He's a lot of fun to watch. He keeps the Cardinals feisty and interesting. King Henry, James Conner, I like in John's favor. I don't know how well we're going to be able to establish the run game. Depends on how close we can keep it with Jacksonville. So Mixon's numbers might take a hit. Pirine, I think he did have a touchdown last week, but aside from that, it was like 30 yards. As far as Kevin's wide receivers, though, I think he bounces. He gets the edge in that. Christian Watson, Thielen, again, is the only option in Carolina. And Amari Cooper, I know he doesn't know who he has thrown at him, but he's going against the Rams. They haven't really been world beaters on defense. I don't really like John's wide receivers this week. I think they're even. Kelsey and Kittle pretty much coin flip. And I think that it's going to come down to that linebacker that Kevin has, the stud in Jacksonville, Olakun. And Kevin takes the dub. John, come on down. You're playing me next week, and I'm going to be the one that officially knocks you out. And then when I beat him, I'll be above him to look at all of you guys in the playoffs. Kevin wins.
All right, yeah. So this one, I have a little bit of insider info. Talking to the owner of Pocket Aces about
Collusion.
No, just talking. And he told me that he's in bye week hell this week, and he's a little nervous because of bye week hell. That's all. Just a little nerves. Murray and Minshew. Murray's the better one going against
Minshew Mania.
And Minshew is not the better one, but he's going against the Titans, which I don't think are good.
Minshew Mania.
I do like Derrick Henry. I like Joe Mixon, but if we do a repeat of last week, he's not going to hardly get any touches to matter. Pirine, he's not their main running back, so I don't like Pirine. I think Connors is a better one in that case. I do like Kevin's wide receivers better. I don't like that John has 2 Arizona wide receivers, but maybe with Kyler Murray in, maybe that changes. I haven't paid attention to Arizona. But I do like Christian Watson. He seems like him and Love are starting to really connect. Kittle and Kelsey, that's like you said, Matt. I think that's a close one there. Kittle is going against Philly's defense. Kelsey's playing in Green Bay, and Taylor Swift, the last I heard from Taylor's tidbits, is she is touring overseas. So he won't have that factor. And I did see it looks like Green Bay is going to have rain or something. It's hard to tell from this icon, but it's some precipitation of some sort. So who knows what happens there. I do like Oluwakan on Kevin's team, even though he drove me nuts when I played against him because he scored like a third of his points. But on John's side, I like Mosley a lot. He seems to be the tackling machine for the New York Jets. So, anyways, in this one, I'm going with John. Gut feeling. That's my reason I'm going with it. Gut feeling.
Brotherly shoves his brother into the win column.
Yep. I see what you did there.
All right. So I will say, guess who's back? Back again. Taylor's back. Tell a friend. Your information is outdated, Greg. She's back in Kansas City. She'll be at the game, and Kelsey's gonna smash. Because you know how he does when his girl's in the stands. Last rumor I saw, she temporarily moved into his Kansas City home while in the States. So that means they're diddling, and he's gonna diddle on the fucking field. So Kelsey's back. He's going to carry Kevin to victory. You had a great point about Watson and Love connection. I was going to bring that up because I have Love, and Love's back in my starting lineup. Part by, but I'm also going to run with Love as my future, I think, through the playoffs, barring injury. So I think the Love-Watson connection's back. But yeah, so Kittle doesn't have a chance against Kelsey this week because of the whole Illuminati back in KC. Other than that, both teams are kind of uninteresting. Money Mac, he might have a big week. We need him to, so I think it'll be pretty close. But I will go officially with Kevin in this one because Taylor's back again. And Marcus Lawrence, straight from the desert hole, I also picked Kevin, probably because he heard the same rumor I did because he lives with Danielle, and she is on Taylor Swift watch 24/7. From what I understand. So I'm sure that is part of the reason. Who do we have next? We have, the Boondocks 87 and the Steel City Football, Marcus Lawrence, or Marcus, whatever, fuck him, not.
Toilet bowl.
So who do we got there?
Oh, God. I hate having to look over these teams. I really hate having to review Marcus's team after losing to him last week. Stupid fucking Steelers, and they actually played offense last week. So Pickett may pick back up, hitting Freiermuth over the middle. They are playing Arizona, and the Cardinals' defense is not that good. Mahomes, on the other hand, is playing Sunday night against Green Bay. I expect Mahomes to bounce back, have a bounce back week. Marcus has Christian McCaffrey. I really don't know who else they're going to run out there in the Boondocks besides Rashad Penny. I think his only other option at running back is Kyle Juszczyk. That's not good. I know Kyle Shanahan likes to design some little screens in that for him, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to help you in the fantasy ranks this week. Calvin Ridley's been coming on. Mike Evans is a monster as always. Lockett going against tough Dallas. That's going to hurt. The Boondocks on the other side. Nakua he's been pretty solid, but he's going up against Cleveland's tough defense. Myles Garrett, I think's health is going to go a long way to see how well Nakua does. If he is playing, I think Nakua's numbers go down. If not, maybe McVay comes up with a few routes that can spring him open, him and Cup. Then Freiermuth coming back, I think is somehow going to take Marcus to victory. As much as I don't want to say it, fucking Steelers guy's going to win again. Fuck you, Marcus. Fuck the Steelers. But I'm picking you in fantasy. You suck still.
So this game, right as it stands now, is separated by 0.4 points in Marcus's favor. Matt did a lot of talking for two teams that he's not very interested in. So thank you, Matt, 'cause I don't have to talk as much. When I looked at it originally, to me, it came down to Patrick Mahomes versus Christian McCaffrey, the shining stars on each of their teams. But before I make my pick, I will say I was looking at it. I feel like Njoku and Freiermuth are pretty even. They're like this random AFC North type tight ends. And it seems like, unfortunately, Pittsburgh found that they could throw the ball up the middle. And if they continue to do what they did against Cincinnati, Freiermuth should give them good numbers. But I think it comes down to Mahomes versus McCaffrey. And now that I learned from our Swifties fan on here, the Taylor tidbit, that she's back in the States, even more so, I'm going with the pick I originally went with. And before I say it, he is on demerit watch. He has a free agent starting as running back. The guy's not even on the team. Keep an eye on that.
That literally just happened, though. I will defend him on that.
Okay.
That happened like hours ago. So
fair enough, but he has a track record.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Jacob anyways in this one.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be close.
I agree. I'm gonna go with Jacob as well. I was kind of basing it off Ingram being available to play. Side note, I wouldn't mind if the Bengals swiped him up in waivers just to have. But with him putting Ridley back in the lineup, Evans, Lockett, you got Mahomes, and Njoku. I think there's a lot of evenness to it, but I think Jacob will win. I think it'll be a tight one. It's really a toilet bowl, like you said. There's not much to say about it. Anyone could really win. I'm just going to go with Jacob probably because at least he's a Bengals fan.
That's a good reason.
Yeah. And Mark also picked Jacob, and he picked the same. He said he picked solely because he did set his lineup, but also I think he was basing off not knowing that Ingram's now a free agent. So, because that did happen just super recently, that I know of. I didn't notice it, at least, if it happened any further than if it happened yesterday. I didn't see it till today, till I looked at it just now. So I will give him that. Not that he has much at running back to put in to replace it, but you're at that time of year. If you didn't have someone, you're kind of screwed anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna go Jacob on that, mainly probably just because the Bengals thing. And then Mark said it was only because he did set his lineup, and I don't know. He makes moves. He sets his lineup. Sometimes he doesn't. I'm confused. But the last game will be the game of the week. Game of the week.
NBA on NBC.
Little NBA in there, mixing it up. Where the hell is it at now? Oh, M Law 2303 versus B Walt. Marcus Lawrence versus Brandon Walters. Old school butt buddies.
The lovers.
Yeah. Who do you got, Matt?
All right. Well, Mark's Tua Tagovailoa going against Washington. Trevor Lawrence coming to town against the Bengals. I think it's going to be pretty even matchup there. I do think Tua has the opportunity to go off. Hopefully our defense in the all-white uniforms holds up Trevor Lawrence, my namesake. Brandon's a little hurt. Jonathan Taylor going on. I think he's doubtful, banged up last week. So give Mark the edge with his running backs. Again, Brandon's wide receivers are on another one. CeeDee Lamb, Tank Dell, and Sutton, I think, have been unstoppable the last 3 weeks, especially since Russ has been not cooking, so to speak, but making sure that everything's right in the kitchen. So he's been making sure there's no flames. And then Sam Laporta and Jesse Bates take Mark to victory, and Brandon is on life support for that final playoff spot. Taking my brother.
All right. So I do think Tua and Trevor is going to be a close one in their final numbers. Be really sweet if Hendrickson shuts down Trevor, but we'll see there. Mark is looking better at running back than Brandon. You already hit on it. Jonathan Taylor, from what I understand, is going to miss a few weeks, as I heard he needs surgery on his thumb. But who knows? We've seen players, at least in the old school especially, play with broken fingers and whatnot. And the Colts are in the playoff run or playoff hunt or whatever. I do like Brandon's wide receivers a lot. I like CeeDee Lamb, what they're doing in Dallas. I think they're cooking right now. Dell and Houston, he seems to be a favorite of Stroud. And Sutton, it's like a broken record because I said it last week, but Sutton seems to be making a nice connection with Russell Wilson. I like Garrett Wilson, but his quarterback, no bueno. I don't like quarterback situation there. Unfortunate for Garrett Wilson. I think future-wise, Mark has a solid wide receiver. This year, just it sucks that you have to have Zach Wilson as quarterback, and then was it Hoyer? I did see Rodgers got activated today, though. That's interesting, by the way. I do like Laporta with the Lions, and I said it before. I think the Lions will have a bounce back week against New Orleans. I like Brandon's normal starting tight end, but he's not playing this week because he's on a bye week. So let's see. And then Jesse Bates, hate that he's not here anymore, but he's been playing. He had a nice play last week, nice pick. But yeah, I think in the Lovers Quarrel game of the week, I'm going to go also with Mark Lawrence Jr.
So my tiebreakers, I was leaning Brandon all week, but then Taylor going down, and I thought he could survive Kmet being on bye if he had Taylor, but now that they're both out, basically, I don't think he can survive that. I'm assuming obviously Taylor is out with being doubtful. So I'm giving it a squeeze. It's gonna be the nail biter, I believe, along with being the game of the week. I'm gonna go with Marcus Lawrence. I think he has a little bounce back, gives him some little false hope that he's gonna make the playoffs. But other than that, I think it's close. I mean, they both got mediocre quarterbacks at best. Swift's been going off lately, but Javante's had another, life breathed into him. And I mean, Mark does have the Ohio State boys. At any moment they could just go off, regardless of their quarterbacks. And Laporta, another Big Ten guy, so you kind of got to lean, Big Ten all the way. So I will go Mark on that. And needless to say, Mark also picked himself.
He did?
He did. He picked himself. So that wraps up our picks this week. Matt, do you want to go and do you do the wrap up now or the whatever the hell it is from last week?
Oh yeah, I'll give you the update on the pick tallies. So last week, Brian and Greg and Mark all got 4 games. I only got 3. So after a couple of weeks of tracking this, me and Mark are tied at 11, and Brian and Greg have 9. So everyone's pretty right in there. Got a couple more weeks left of the picks. Then we also got playoffs coming. So
playoff picks.
I think
big playoff push. Big crosstown shootout coming up.
Yay.
Forward to that. I think it's on the 9th, 6th or 9th, something like that.
It's a Saturday.
But yeah, and then conference football championships going off on a Saturday. Find out who's in the playoffs, and hope you guys did you guys have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yep.
Watched a lot of football.
Yeah, buddy. I know it didn't go as well as you wanted it, but that I tell you what, I would not like to be as an Auburn fan because of the way that game ended, dude. I would have. I've been real close to breaking my television. Like, how you leave that guy alone? It's fucking 4th and 30.
Yeah. They needed a touchdown. All you gotta do is guard the damn ball.
Yeah, put everybody at the goal line. I mean, even if he runs it, he's coming
Tackle.
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, craziness.
But
Yeah, it's a rough weekend for our football teams. But at least our football team won, and they're advancing to the conference finals, so that's fun.
Yeah.
That's on Saturday as well, isn't it?
It is.
That's a 1-game elimination, I believe.
Yeah,
correct.
hell is real, boys. Hell is real.
Soccer's weird, man, because like I'm this is my first year getting into like understanding the MLS playoffs and following it to a degree.
Yeah.
And there's a guy I work with who's big into soccer, and so like after he won the round where it was best of 3, I was talking to him, and then he's like, "It's single elimination from here on out." I'm like, "What?" I thought it was like more like baseball or NBA, where like the first round's like, okay, it's 3, and then I don't know.
It's a 7 or no, it reverses.
So that's exciting. At least we have that going for us here. Reds Fest is this weekend. I don't know if anyone's going to that, but it is happening. I do want to mention with the Pick'em totals, it's harder to make correct picks when you're already in the playoffs. Like where we're getting ready for the playoffs over here, me and Brian. But it's cute that you Lawrence boys have time to make picks, you know.
We got to worry about our own lineups to be set and championships to be won.
Yeah, I just want to throw that out there. And I also was noticing something when I made a joke about Mark picking himself. No one's picked against themselves yet this year, huh? So that'd be funny or interesting if someone finally does. But
I mean, there was a couple games I was like, I'm probably not going to win this, but I'm still going to pick myself, you know?
Yeah, and Mark did that too, actually. I remember Mark saying that too.
And actually, those games I end up winning, so ones I was less confident in, but because there are sometimes it's gonna be hard to pick against yourself because it makes almost gives you the vibe of you're like trying to lose. It's like I'm never gonna try to lose, but there are just games I'm less confident in winning. You know, you have like especially if you're bye week hell. You know, you're like I'm not overly concerned with this week, but I could see a losable situation for me if because I got 4 players on bye. So. Whenever you got that many players on bye, you get a little anxious about it.
Yeah, and those are the ones.
No matter who it is. And Jimmer still has some solid players that can put up points, so it's not like he's Nick or anything.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's true. So it's crazy to think, though, like this is the second to last week of the fantasy regular season.
Yeah, and we have like 5, 6, and 6 teams.
Yeah.
Plus, Antoine still has a shot, I would say, for a playoff. Mathematically, technically, all the way down to Matt has a shot, but Matt would need some help.
Yeah,
he needs some fancy mathematics.
I need all the help, and then some guys to score negative points.
Yeah.
Have you tried talking to Matthew Berry and see what he thinks?
Yeah. I might write in. I'll have to write into him and see if I can get on that show where he's like giving out his fantasy advice.
Yeah.
Dude, watch Matt brings him onto our podcast next week. Like I got a guy.
He'd be the one that finds a way. I'm like, okay, Matthew Berry's here. That would change the vibe of the podcast real quick. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, well, I'm like, oh, what did I do? I'm probably stumbling over my words and stuff. Like,
dude, we could have Danielle type up something on some UC official letterhead. Be like, oh, we help out these students with their project, Matt Berry.
He comes on. You guys are all 40-year-olds. What the fuck?
You guys are students?
Yeah.
It's never too late, Matt.
Yeah.
Never too late for college.
That's right. You can always go back.
Yeah, but it should set up for an interesting last week though.
But yeah, I mean, I like that we have 6, 7 teams that legit have a shot. I like those 2, 3 spots. I didn't necessarily expect it to be that competitive, but go ahead.
I like it with the fact that I have my playoff spot secured.
That doesn't make me feel bad at all. No, I do enjoy that.
Yeah,
but
it's kind of wild though too that basically all these teams that are still eligible or whatever are fighting for basically just 3 spots. So that
Yeah.
makes it fun too, right? It's like it's not any of the 6, it's literally last 3 in.
Yeah. And I think the only one that could really clinch, maybe Kevin could clinch this week if he wins. He'd go 8. It would depend on what the rest of the teams do, but he could potentially clinch this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kevin's team's been hitting the stride. I will say that.
Yeah, he's kind of the hot one rolling into the playoffs, sneaky one.
So he'll lose in the first round.
Hey, I'm fine with that. I'm expecting to have a bye week, so
Hey, I'm shooting for that bye week.
yeah. I mean, as of right now, what will the playoffs say? I would have the winner of you and John. So, and then
Okay.
Andy would have the winner of Kevin Bewalt if it ended today.
And Kevin wants Andy.
Oh yeah, we'll have to have them on for sure with that playoff preview.
Yeah,
I kind of hope it lines up that way just so we can have them
both on.
both on to talk all the trash.
I guess we'll let Matt be on, even though he's not going to the playoffs.
Yeah, he can run point.
I'll be impartial observer.
Impartial juror. But all right, I guess that's we good with this week?
Yeah,
Wrap it
good.
up. Let me stop recording here.